some jersey or something. But
Yep.
wow. Well, it's a nice way to welcome people live to This Is Overtime on OSN. Team Canada, Sidney Crosby. Lever Sage, Tanner Ryle with you. After a 4-3 Red Wings overtime victory over the Ottawa Senators, this is overtime appropriate for the last couple of nights with losses to Montreal and Detroit in overtime on Saturday and Sunday. So maybe people don't want to hear this is overtime, but you will here on OSN. Quite a weekend, Tanner. How are you? Great to be on with you once again. Wish we had better things to talk about, but we got a lot to talk about with the Ottawa Senators. How are you? How was your weekend?
Pretty good overall. So yesterday, Montreal game, my dad and my sister came over and watched that. My dad's a big Habs fan, so it's a little bit of a tradition. Growing up, my grandpa would always come over as well. So ever since he passed away a few years ago, we always try and get together in that spirit. So definitely a little less bitter watching the team lose last night because I was going back and forth with my dad. It was a competitive game, a fun time. Unfortunate loss. I think there's one thing that killed them in that game, and I'm sure we're going to get into that. Today, hit up as I was showing that jersey there, the Festival Hobby, I think it was called, at the EY Center. Dag was actually there yesterday. I didn't catch that, but Sens legend.
So what was that all about? This
I was like a trading card show, and then they had a Comic-Con going on in the other hall. So got that Crosby jersey, and I've been really into rookie cards lately, so I got a few of those as well. I got a alternate print of Tim Stützle's Young Guns card. I have the original already.
Was he hustling on that picture?
Yeah, I know. Got a Allure Levi Marilainen. That's going to Ethan. He asked me to look for a Marilainen card.
Yeah, I feel like they're about the same. They're going at the same pace right now, Ethan and Marilainen.
We got an Alfie jersey relic. Talk about a good player there. We got a Sanderson rookie card.
Wow.
And Young Guns Marilainen. That one's going to me.
Okay.
And I think my favorite one was a Dylan Cousins Young Gun. So on the lookout for that. I've already got Sanderson, Pinto, Greg, Stützle, Zub, believe it or not. Your favorite player. Got his Young Guns card.
Well, he's worth it. You can say Zub.
I got it for like $2, so that's about all it's worth.
Hey, if it means more than $2 to you, it's a good purchase.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah. So it was a fun time. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of course, caught the game tonight, and here we go.
Not a fun time to be an Ottawa Senators fan again this weekend after a couple of wins during the week, and felt like they were, dominating the Montreal Canadiens after getting down 2-0. They come back. It's 5-3. The shots are like 30-12. There's 5 minutes to go. Everything's great. Except it wasn't. At that point, Montreal, of course, pulls the goalie, scores, pulls the goalie, scores, goes to overtime, scores, and Ottawa suddenly loses 6-5. And then tonight, I thought a better effort from the team. I thought they played okay yesterday as well, but I thought a good effort on a back-to-back 22-hour game. I thought their goaltending was better, but a couple of breakdowns in this game and a couple of just stupid things that they did in this game caused another demise. Where do you want to start? You want to go back to Saturday here for a second, or?
Yeah, I think that makes more sense because you kind of have to reference that game, I think, in the context of the Detroit one. Yesterday, I loved pretty much every aspect of the Sens game, except for one thing, and I know we're going to get into that one thing, but
what was that one thing, Tanner?
They play that game 10 times. I think they win it 9 times out of 10. I thought team structure, they played great. Forwards showed up. Sanderson was an absolute monster yesterday, but you got to make more than 10 saves. I mean, I feel like a broken record. How many times have you come on here and talked about poor goaltending specifically?
Well, he did. He made 13 saves.
Okay, you got to make more than 13. You got to make more than 2 out of every 3.
Yes, I know the line. I think that Jake Sanderson said after the game was that he made a few good saves, but you need more than 10 saves. Was that him or Timmy that said that?
It was
after the
him.
game.
Stutzla was a little less direct, but I think it was more Sanderson and Green that called out the play of Levi Meriläinen, and I agreed. I didn't have a problem with it. I think some people didn't like it from Sanderson, but
Yeah,
I didn't
but
have an
they've
issue
been
with it.
doing it for a long time. When you play that well, and I think a lot just piled up yesterday, right? Like the crowd was, it's always some Montreal. It was very, very Montreal yesterday. Like
That's
some
another
of the,
hot topic online as well.
yeah, well, some in the building that were communicating with me said it's the most they've ever seen. And
Yeah,
there's
I
been,
did.
folks, there's been a lot of games between Montreal and Ottawa, in Ottawa.
I did see a post from Julian McKenzie of The Athletic, and he said it was about 80% Montreal fans. And I know there were a lot of replies on that post. I saw a couple of season ticket holders and other people that were upset.
Yeah, I don't think it was 80, but
yeah, I did see some pushback as well. But there was one person in there that said, well, my normal $80 ticket was $300 tonight. So why would I pay that?
Right. So that's where I think the team has to take a step back and say, we understand that we want to charge more for games that matter more. So you understand that line of thinking from a sales point of view, but at the same time, if those tickets get overpriced and they're able to sell them to Montreal fans or Toronto fans like they have, then why would they pay that much to go get drowned out? Like, and it doesn't matter. And I guess I shouldn't have pushed back on 80 because it doesn't matter whether it was 65% or 70%. It was too many. And when you saw the overtime goal, I actually paused the TV at that one spot, and every single person in the shot was standing up, cheering, and had a Habs jersey on. I mean, every single person in the shot. So I think when you play really well, you dominate a team, you feel like it's an away game at home, and then your goalie stinks, and you lose a game you never should lose, and especially for Sanderson, gets 4 points in the game. Yeah, I think he's right to be frustrated. How could you not be? So even if they don't say it, you know that they're feeling it. You know that that's going through their minds, whether they say it or they don't say it.
Yeah, and I've got Sanderson's stats from last night. He played 25-39 total time on ice, 454 on the PK, 1 goal, 4 points. His expected goals for percentage was 65.74%, +2 at 5v5.
Right.
He was a horse last night.
Yeah. And then they lose again to an inferior team because of one aspect of their game.
Not only that, but the Ottawa Senators last night, of all the teams that played, their 5v5 expected goals against per 60 as of January 18th was number 1 in the NHL.
Right.
So they are defensively the best team in the NHL right now, but they cannot buy a save. So if I'm Jake Sanderson, of course I'm going to get frustrated. How many games in a row have we seen Meriläinen come out here and stink?
So where I think that that's a little misguided. I mean, there's frustration from Jake Sanderson on Meriläinen, but this is the organization's / Ullmark's fault. The organization should never have been putting Meriläinen in that spot to be the savior for a team when the guy they went out and paid $8 million isn't ready to go for whatever reason, and you don't have a backup plan better than Meriläinen. That's actually not on a young kid to, if he's not the savior, it's his fault. That's the organization's structure that they have not done. Personally, Lee, Ethan, I know Ethan's been in. I'm not paying $200 for 300 level seats. We saw that up on the screen earlier. Sorry, but screw that. Personally, Lee, I don't care how upset you are. Weaponizing the media against a rookie goaltender who shouldn't have been in a position is just unacceptable to me. Work it out in the room. And that's exactly what I'm saying. this isn't Marilainen's fault.
No.
He was in a really bad position, and he didn't come through. He didn't play well, and he hasn't played well. And you'd wish he'd play better, but he was never the answer. Go ahead.
To me, it's still like it goes back to the preseason. You handed the keys to this 23-year-old who had a 12-game sample size. Yes, he looked great last year, but he's still waivers exempt. There's no reason he couldn't have started the year in Belleville. Why wasn't a guy like James Reimer brought in at training camp to push this kid to try and earn the spot?
Right. So then we go very quickly, because I do want to talk a little bit about tonight, and then we can get into kind of the big picture. But you go into tonight, and you couldn't have started better. 2-0. You're up. You get a power play goal. I mean, you're rolling. And then what do? Like, I don't even understand. Shane Pinto comes off the bench, is damn lucky. And it was 2-1 at that point already. They'd given up a power play goal to Detroit. A screen. They didn't really show a great angle. I still didn't love the goal, but obviously Reimer was screened, I think, or else he just missed it. But they didn't have a great angle that you could see exactly. But it's 2-1, but you've still started well. Pinto comes off the bench and gets into the scrum, and they are damn lucky that he only got a too many men on the ice penalty, because he should have got more. Then, after that, what Ridley Gregg did was, I can't believe they were, to me, this reviewing of the penalties that they're not getting right. We saw the one, the boarding call on Zub, that should have been a 5 in a major and a game. After a review, had all of the characteristics, hit him in the numbers, hit him in a bad spot, didn't see him coming, should have been a 5 in a game. That was on Trocheck, right? Who did that to Zub?
Oh, anyway, Verhaeghe.
Verhaeghe. Yeah, sorry. But then tonight, Ridley Gregg comes through the neutral zone on Lucas Raymond, and it's a complete blindside cheap shot. And they review it, and they still only give him 2 minutes. I'm like, they better not review this, because he's going to be out of the game. And then they review it, and then he's not out of the game.
Yeah.
Whether he got 2 or a 5, it was deserving of a 5. And if I'm Travis Green, I'm like, so Shane Pinto comes off the bench, gets in the scrum. I'm not sure why. Lucky that he's still in the game. Ridley Gregg, drive by, cheap shot on Lucas Raymond, still in the game. This is what my players are doing when all we need is a win to get, like, with everything that's happened. And they're doing all of these stupid things. Ethan, Greg's hit was disgusting.
I agree.
Simple.
I think generally I've been noticing a bit of a discipline problem with the team as of late. Especially, I think you have to be aware of that when your penalty kill is as bad as it is. And Greg's a guy I see it from a lot. I think Nick Cousins, yes, that's his style of game, but I see it from him a lot as well. And in the Montreal game last night, he takes a dumb penalty for like taking a guy's helmet off or something, and he's up to the referee, me? You're calling it on me? And then the other one would be another guy on that fourth line, David Perron. I think they said during the game tonight, 6 minor penalties in the last 11 games.
That's unacceptable.
If your PK stinks, stop taking dumb penalties.
Well, it doesn't stink. It's the worst in the league, and teams are scoring at almost 30% of the time.
It doesn't stink. It reeks.
Right. Like, one of every 3 penalties that you take is going into the back of the net. What more do you need to not do stupid things? And we're at the point of the season where if I'm Travis Green, I'm sitting their asses down. I don't care whether we need to win. I don't care. Like, we're going to do it with guys that are on the right page here. We're not going to do it with guys that are undisciplined, and I don't care who it is. And now we get to, I would call it another undisciplined part of the game. And that would be, as great as Tim Stutz has been, an unbelievable highlight reel, Tanner's putting it out for everyone to see when Tim Stützle is filthy and all the cool terms that you young guys want to use when some guy does a sick move. And it's like, cool, but you didn't hustle back in overtime and you didn't get your man, and that guy scored. Oh, repeat the next night. Tim Stützle is back, and he just doesn't skate as hard as the Red Wings do. Loses his guy, scores again. And I'm not blaming you, but where's the sick, filthy retweets, highlight reels of him not hustling back as opposed to a between the legs? Obviously, it was a great goal, but come on. Like, you want all of the things handed to you because you're really, really good, but when you do things to cost your team games, like on this overtime, I rewound it before we got on and made sure that I watched it again because I thought I saw it live. I'm like, he is back, Tim. He's back. And he stops skating. It's unacceptable. Because you know if it's a 2-on-1 and the guy shoots, he's probably going to score on your goalie. Wouldn't that even be more incentive to get back? I don't know. I don't. And especially for Tim Stützle. 2 shots on goal tonight. No points. 3 giveaways. Not hustling back on the overtime winner. Like, of all nights that you need your best players, Tim Stützle was not one of their best players tonight. I know, I get frustrated by that because everyone they'll look back on the weekend and kind of go, oh man, they see that sick goal from Tim Stützle? I'm like, yeah, for me, I don't care.
Yeah. They lost, it doesn't matter.
Right. And you kind of look at that who went well tonight. A total of 22 shots on goal. I know, Detroit's playing on a Sunday and you played last night against Montreal. I get it. But like 22 shots again? You're lucky to score 3 times. Anyway, I really like some of their game, like the pushback, the third goal. There are some good things to like. But man, like Tanner, I just don't get. Like, what is Travis Green going to say to the team on the way back tonight? Or sorry, the way to Columbus or wherever they're going.
It's got to be discipline and defensive effort that have to be the main things, I think. That's 2 nights in a row where that's killed them to an extent. You look at how many power play goals they gave up, both against Montreal and tonight as well, just taking dumb penalties. That's got to change. We can't have Tim Stützle back-checking your quote-unquote best forward. Not back-checking. He's taking a page. I guess he watched the Austin Matthews highlight from the other night and decided,
was that
I'm going to outdo that. Yeah.
That was a hard one to outdo. I
yeah.
know. Like, he literally just stopped. But I was extremely frustrated by Stützle last night during overtime. I was livid tonight. He did it again, almost an identical play. Extremely disappointed. It really does seem like guys are out to try and win the game, but they're not out to protect the lead. They're not out to make sure they don't lose the game. It's like, I'm going to get a chance. I'm going to hope Detroit doesn't score, and then I'm going to get another chance. Right? Because if Detroit doesn't score, maybe I'm probably getting a 2-on-1 back the other way again. That's what it seems like. Instead of just coming back and hustling back to make sure that the Red Wings don't score on this chance. What do you think of James Reimer's games tonight?
I thought he was fine. I think there's maybe one goal that he wanted back. I'm just enjoying looking at the score sheet and seeing a save percentage that doesn't start with an 8. Because I can't genuinely remember the last time that happened for the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, fair point.
But yeah, I think there's maybe one that he wants back, but having an above 900 save percentage is great. I think he saved most of the savable ones. And I think he gave the Senators every chance to win this game. I have no complaints on that.
Yeah, I thought he looked calm.
Yeah, and I think that's what this team needs. They need that calm veteran who can just save the savables, keep them in a game, be a little more stoic than Marilainen. I know we haven't talked about him yet, but not the best weekend for him.
For who? Marilainen?
Yeah.
Yeah, he stunk.
He was very bad. That might have been his worst game against Montreal.
I agree. I mean, I don't even know how you defend and say more than the guy was awful. But I don't know. Like, you get young players in the league that haven't played very many hockey games, and sometimes they're not very good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big.
There was
it's a big
another
moment.
player in the Montreal game that has played a lot of games that also frustrated me.
Who is
Curious
that?
if you also picked up on him. That'd be their longest tenured Ottawa Senator, Thomas Chabot. I know he's been a whipping boy over the last couple of years. I thought he had an all right game tonight, but against Montreal, it was not a good night for number 72.
No. And it's, for me, it's easy to pick up because, and I know I'm trying not to make him a whipping boy, but I do think there's a difference between being a whipping boy and you make $8 million a year. You're expected, and like, you're never playing really, unless you're playing on the road. But if you're playing at home, you're probably not playing against other teams' best lines shift after shift after shift. On the road, if people want matchups, but I mean, if you want a matchup, you're out against Clevin and whoever he's playing with, Spence at the time. I just don't, it's fair criticism for a guy that doesn't play against the other team's best lines. He's not a focal point of other teams. Like, when teams play the Ottawa Senators, probably up front, they're like, okay, like, what are we going to do to contain Stützle? And then what are we going to do to make sure that Sanderson doesn't make a big difference in this game? Like, how are we going to hem Sanderson in? How are we going to not let him move the puck easily? Like, there is a focus on stopping Jake Sanderson and Tim Stützle when you play the Ottawa Senators. When you make $8 million and you're not one of those guys, you need to make a difference positively. And Thomas Chabot isn't doing that enough. When he plays okay, people almost pump him up like, oh, he wasn't bad tonight. Like, oh, we're lucky. Like, that's not the attitude that you should have. The attitude you should have is he should be one of your better players night after night. And he's not. Do you know how many total games in his career that Marilainen has played in the NHL?
It's got to be around 35 now.
That's why, Tanner, you're on This Is Overtime. It's exactly 35.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, who knows the crap more than you?
I did the math because I knew before this year he had played 14. He played 10 out of the first 37, I believe, before Allmark went down, and then he played the 11 straight.
Right. So I guess what I would say to you and everybody listening would be, what would you expect from a guy that's played 35 career NHL games? Is he expected to be the savior? Is he expected to be the reason why you need to stay in the hunt? Or is that an organizational problem that a guy who's played 35 career games is expected to be the guy, and when he's not, everyone's going to pile on him like he's no good? If, like, Tyler Clevin has a bad game, or I don't know, like, young people that haven't played very much, they say you haven't done anything until you've played 100 games in the NHL. And for defensemen, it's like 200. Like, you don't even start to understand really what you need to do in the position until you've played 200 games. For a forward, it's a little bit less than that. So I hope people don't pile on Marilainen at all. I thought Reimer looked, as you said, he was good tonight. Couple that he probably would like to save, but, you know, one kind of went, it didn't go through Sanderson's legs, but he did get screened by Sanderson on the play. Maybe at a better time when he's played a little bit more, he'll stop them, but you can't expect him to be better really than what he was tonight.
And I think what he was, if we had this level of goaltending, if the Senators had this level of goaltending throughout the season so far, they'd be in a playoff spot.
Yeah, it's a nice correction by you. Yeah.
I saw another stat today that the team save percentages overall in the league. So Ottawa has an 869 right now at 32nd. 31 is the Anaheim Ducks with an 883. That's the gap between those two teams. The gap between the 32nd Ottawa Senators and the 31st Anaheim Ducks.
Right.
There is a larger gap between those two teams than the 31st Anaheim Ducks and the 18th ranked Utah Mammoth with an 896.
Well, that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. It's been like apocalyptically bad.
Right. That's a nice term. I like that. So there's mid-range from Utah down to the second worst team, and then there's as big of a gap down to the worst team.
Yep.
Oh boy. Are we done here for Sens fans? Like, have we realized that they're not making the playoffs in mid-January? Is this a thing now?
I think we're pretty much there, barring Linus Ullmark coming in this week and playing out of his mind. I think we already would have to have seen a winning streak from this team to get back in. And yeah, it's probably too little too late.
I would agree, because they just don't. I mean, what you have to do to even put things together in the NHL, like streaks to get back up in it.
Then you look at the other teams as well. Columbus has that new coach bump. It seems everybody's really buying into that. They've climbed now above the Ottawa Senators. The Rangers are a tire fire. They've fallen well below. The Devils are below them now, but I mean, what does that matter?
Incredible that the Flyers have lost 6 in a row and they're still ahead of Ottawa. But
yeah, I'd say the Senators need to win probably 6 to 8 in a row to even give it a chance. Like they really needed like they needed both wins this weekend to really convince me, and I'm not there right now.
And they didn't do anything. Like, they didn't take points away from Detroit and Montreal just gaining on everybody. That's the other thing. Is like, while they're getting 1 point, Detroit's getting 2 more, Montreal's getting 2 more. And there's just so many teams that are in it. Ottawa has all of a sudden played almost as many games. There's a couple teams that have played more, but only Boston and the Rangers and Carolina. I guess
it's like a 1-game difference. I mean, games in hand don't matter when you lose them anyways.
See, this is the type of quote we need. Games in hand don't matter. You lose them anyways. Do you want to get a quick thought from you on Rasmus Andersson, traded to the Vegas Golden Knights by Calgary for Zach Whitecloud, a conditional first, a conditional second, which could become a first in 2028, prospect named Abram Wiebe, and half retention of the money from Rasmus Andersson. What do you think of the deal as he goes to Vegas?
Pretty crazy. If I had a nickel for every time Calgary sent a 2015 first-round draft pick to right-shot defenseman to the Vegas Golden Knights, I'd have 2 nickels.
See, there you go.
It's pretty funny. But overall, I think if I'm the Flames, I love this deal. I think that's an A+ on their side. They get a lot of value back. If Vegas wins the cup also, that second becomes a first.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any problem eating that salary. They absolutely maximize the value. I did see some reports that it came down to Vegas and Boston and in the end, and Boston wasn't going to make that move unless they could figure out a contract extension. So going over to Vegas's point of view, I mean, they're in win now mode. They've got an older core. A first round pick doesn't really mean a whole lot to them. They're just trying to win. That's been their ownership's MO since they came into the NHL. I think it's a great move for them. It fills the hole that they lost with Alex Pietrangelo. Maybe you give up a little more than you would have liked to without having an extension in place, but I don't think it'll be too hard to convince Anderson to stick around in Vegas.
Well, and that's what they have going for them, right? That they don't need extensions in place to create that comfort level. They have enough going on for them that they know the player will probably want to resign, and then they'll have the option of seeing what he's like in the room and everything else. But that's what winning franchises do. They create that culture that people want to be there. And if they went somewhere else, like Ottawa doesn't have that. Many teams don't have that.
Ottawa doesn't even have the assets. I don't think that trade would have made any
No,
sense.
but
From
what
their
I'm
side.
saying is that they don't have the ability to say, hey, just come here. We know you're going to love it. You're going to play with great players. We're going to compete for a Stanley Cup, and then you can decide, and we'll decide. Other teams need that extension in place because they know the guy's going to walk at the end of the year.
How'd it go the last time Ottawa tried that?
Yeah.
We saw him tonight, and he scored the game winner.
And all he does is score goals. Like, people can say what they want about DeBrincat. All he does is score goals.
Except for when he was here.
Yeah, I guess. But, I mean, everywhere he's been.
Yeah. But I do wonder if Jim Rutherford is seeing this deal and thinking, maybe I do want to part with Filip Hronek if another contender wants to give me that sort of package.
Right.
I know we talked about him as a target for the Senators, but I feel like he's on that level of Erasmus Anderson. And I feel like that's definitely out of the Senators' probable price range, I'd say, if they were to try and pry him out of Vancouver.
I would never be paying that much because I don't think if you were one or two guys away from making a real run, yeah, sometimes you got to give up a little bit more than you want. But you can't give up that much.
No. And Hronek's got term as well. He's a little less offensive, but still, those are two very good top pair defensemen.
But the term, to me, might get them as much or more, right?
Right. Correct.
So he's going to be a very, very valuable asset. It always seems that Vegas wins the races, though, to the guys. That Vegas is usually first in. They get a big fish. They continue. Like, when I saw the deal, I'm like, good for them. I didn't realize they still had their 27 and 28 first round picks. Feels like they never do.
You think they're done too? If they can find something at the deadline?
No, of course. Because what's going to happen with this year's Olympic break is that a lot of people are going to panic and want to do things before the Olympic break. And when that happens, there's going to be like a repooling of guys after the Olympics, and it's a very short turnaround. So I'm not sure you're going to get the value. So they might get, I don't want to say bargains, but Vegas might get another really good player for not nearly as much, because it might come down to like that team just doesn't have too many options to trade him. So good for them for going in
over
early.
in another big story around the league right now. Another big name out there, Artemi Panarin, and what went down with the New York Rangers this week.
Well, yeah, was it all started by Ottawa's just decimation of the New York Rangers.
I think it's been a long time coming for that team, but yeah, I'm curious to see where Panarin ends up. I wonder about Minnesota personally.
You think so? How come?
Kaprizov would be the main thing. I think the way that they've gone all in. Could you imagine if a team was able to add Quinn Hughes and Artemi Panarin in a matter of months?
Would you ever put them first, though, in the West?
I don't even know if you can put them first in their division, Lee. They got Colorado and Dallas in there,
no matter who you go and get, they're never gonna.
Well, wouldn't that be the reason that you would do it as the Minnesota Wild? Is you're looking at those two potentially have to go round 1, round 2 against Dallas and Colorado, who on paper certainly have better rosters than you. Why not? If Panarin, he's got full no trade as well. If he says, hey, I'll go to Minnesota.
Yep.
I would give them better odds, I'd say, at taking down a Carolina or a Dallas and then potentially putting up a fight against the next one in the second round.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it looks like Bill Guerin is saying we're all in now, and they're going to do what it takes to get there. I wonder who else would be in line for Artemi Panarin, though.
Surely Vegas will probably have their name in there. I imagine the
Yeah,
Florida
but
Panthers.
you would think Vegas would, but after today, I'm not sure.
Yeah. If they could make the money work, I'm sure they would.
But I saw a couple things today, like, and first of all, you look around the league and you see who's playing well right now before the Olympic break. Like Tampa's got points in 13 straight games. Vegas is on a 7-game win streak. Like some of the really good teams are like at the forefront of, like, Boston's 1 loss in their last 10 in regulation.
And they just lost out on Anderson. Maybe that's a guy they'd pivot towards.
Oh, that's a good point. But again, we've been through this before. You look at the wild card teams: Boston 8-1-1 in their last 10, the Sabres 7-2-1 in their last 10, the Leafs 7-1-2, and they're still out of the playoff mix right now. Detroit 7-2-1. The Lightning, we just talked about, they're 9-0-1 in their last 10. Like nobody in the East that's in the playoffs. I know they're above 500, but lately
they're above 600.
The worst record that, yeah. Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Basically.
But the worst record that anybody has in their last 10 are the Islanders at 5-4-1. Of all of the 8 teams that are in the playoffs in the East, that is the worst record in the last 10 games, 5-4-1. Everything else is better than that. So even Ottawa's like 4-4-2 in the last 10 because, you know, they've picked up points in 4 straight games now and 6 points in their last 8, but it doesn't feel like it, does it? 2 overtime losses, division rivals who also picked up points, beating the worst teams in the league. Good for you. You haven't beat any teams that are ahead of you for what? When's the last time they beat?
Yeah, I think it would be the Washington game on New Year's Day.
Right, because after that they lost 4 in a row.
Well, they beat Winnipeg.
Yeah, but Winnipeg's one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, their last 4 regulation wins were the Rangers, the Canucks, the Jets, the Capitals.
Right. And Winnipeg, Vancouver, and the Rangers are the 3 worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the Rangers are right now because of the last couple of wins. They're a little bit better than like Calgary and Chicago. But like we're talking about the only teams Ottawa's beating are the worst teams in the league. They're losing to everybody else. And I know what's that?
Look at this guy in the comments.
What does he even mean by that?
I think I said they when referring to the Senators, which I don't think would be wrong.
Well, maybe he's just confused because you always say we, and you actually said it correctly, they, and he's confused that you use the proper terminology. Maybe that's what he's thinking. Ethan, or like I can pile on Tanner, you're not allowed to pile on him. Okay. That's a rite of passage that I get. You don't get that. We get the right to do it to you.
Ethan, you see this rookie card here? Yeah, watch your words, man. This is going to stay in my possession.
Yes. Who could ever part with a Marylainen rookie card? The value has got to be through the roof.
I'm curious to check the price of it. I think it was $5 marked on, but they knocked down the price for me.
It was $5?
Yeah. But I got everything here for 40 altogether. I think Cousins was the most expensive, which probably makes sense.
Yeah. But Marylainen 16, 14, and 3 in 35 appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Why would that card be worth $5? That even
I don't
seems
know.
like a lot. I'm not trying to listen. I think there's some people that are getting too much flack, and Marylinen's one of them. I would put this more on whatever has happened with Linus Ullmark. I'm not sure exactly what it is, and you do want to be sensitive to the fact that it, if it's something, if it really is a mental injury or something of that nature, you have to, like, we don't know exactly what has happened, but it feels like whatever has happened, he needs to get back in the net. And the organization didn't have a very good backup plan once Allmark was not available.
Right.
And that is not.
By the sounds of it, Green said yesterday that he will be traveling with the team. So I do wonder
Well,
if we see him on Tuesday or Thursday.
it's a perfect spot to put him in.
Yeah, you don't have the media and you're on the road against, I think any goalie would probably rather face the Columbus Blue Jackets or the Nashville Predators as opposed to the three matchups we've got after that, the murderer's row of Carolina, Vegas, and Colorado.
Right. So if you plan on playing him in some of those games, you better get him into one of those Columbus and Nashville games, right?
If not both, ideally.
Agreed. But just with the way it is now, too, as you said, there's no media. Like, what media is traveling to Columbus for the Blue Jackets game?
It'll just be their internal ones. Maybe a Columbus reporter will come in and ask some questions.
Yeah, but from Ottawa, nobody.
Nobody.
They're internal. That's it. It's the perfect spot to put them in. If I were the organization, I'd be doing the exact same thing.
Right.
When he comes back, there is literally not one media person from the city there. And that's more of a fault of, the media in general and where we are in 2026. But if I'm the organization, I am absolutely putting him into that spot because the only people around you, like, you're not going to get any negativity. Yes, Ethan, we'll show when you're right. Thank you. I've been saying that Levy should have a tandem partner acquired immediately after Lena steps away, regardless of how long he's gone. We need that contingency. Steos failed. Levy. So where I don't think that Ethan's correct is, well, most of his takes. But in this take, sorry, Ethan. Well, that's true. I was taking an unnecessary shot, and I apologize, even though it was true. Where I think they failed was thinking that tandem with nobody in Belleville to even think about coming and backing up was going to be good enough. It wasn't when Ullmark actually left the team that he should have gone out and got somebody. It should have been before that this was not enough. This was not good enough. Because number one goalies get hurt all the time. So if Ullmark broke his ankle, like Bo Nix somehow incredibly broke his ankle late in the football game with Denver and Buffalo yesterday. If he broke his ankle, then what? What would happen? Was Lavi Marilinen going to be the answer to all of your successes? Did you think Mad Sogard was going to be a lot better? Did you think Hunter Shepard was going to come up and be the guy? This team was not ready in their goaltending from the beginning of the year. They were not ready. They counted on Linus Ullmark to go out there and play 55 games, and they would worry about the rest later. And when that didn't happen, or he played really poorly before he left, they didn't have an answer. And that's on the organization. It's not when Ullmark left December 27th. It was way before that.
And it's killed their season. You can't point to anything else. That is the one reason that this team isn't a playoff team. It's so simple.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I can poke holes in other parts of the team, but It doesn't matter what those holes are. With any kind of capable mid-level goaltending, this team's a playoff team.
Yeah.
And the frustration's boiling over in the players, let alone whatever controversy happened last week, 2 weeks ago now. Will we ever actually know? Maybe not. But obviously something went on. Because you could see it in the players and they haven't rebounded. And now they're very frustrated that they're not getting any saves. And maybe they're frustrated that Ullmark's not here. And that's where their frustration is. Maybe they're frustrated that the organization just didn't have a plan. Ullmark's been terrible all year long. He's been terrible. Merlinen's been terrible.
It's not much better in Belleville either.
Apocalyptic.
I even saw the Belleville numbers this week. Merlinen is the only one with over a 900 save percentage in the AHL. Right. Parsons, Sogard, Shepard, all sub 900.
Yeah, and that's not good enough. Like, come on. That's to Tanner's point, goaltending has been the issue all season. I can't comprehend why Staios looked at the poor performance in October and didn't act on a new coach or anything. Asleep at the wheel. Please tell me that Ethan's not, when he said coach, he doesn't mean the goalie coach in October. Is that?
I almost forget his name. Do you remember?
I don't.
It's been like 2 days.
And no matter how many times Ethan will tell us what his name is, I don't think it'll get to air. But there are going to be some really hard questions to Steve Staios when it comes to how he went about the goaltending this year. And there should be. Because I think the players are thinking the exact same thing. I think Travis Green is thinking the exact same thing. Doesn't matter how good of a head coach you are. Doesn't matter how good you can be offensively. If you have the worst goaltending in the league by far, like, just think about from another team's perspective, Tanner. Like, if you're the San Jose Sharks are in a playoff spot, which is mind-boggling. Okay.
So are the Islanders.
Right. But if you told me that the San Jose Sharks, who have some talent up front, obviously with Macklin Celebrini and company, if they had the worst goaltending and it wasn't even close, would you expect them to be near the playoffs? Like, if you told it 869 save percentage and the next team was what, 882 or something like that, whatever you said, it was like
883.
883. So yeah, a 14-point difference, a 0.14 difference. If they were the worst team in the league by a lot in save percentage, would you expect the San Jose Sharks to be anywhere near the playoffs? Would you expect any team to be near the playoffs with that save percentage?
No.
13%. I know it doesn't seem it. 13% of all shots towards the Ottawa Senators all year long are going in.
13%. San Jose Sharks are at 22nd. They have an 890 right now. Ottawa has an 890. They're probably in a playoff spot. An 890, Lee. That's Korpisalo and Forsberg's record from 2 years ago.
Oh my God.
I'm not even kidding. That I know that number because it was driven into my head all summer that year that this was the worst goaltending we'd ever seen. I would kill to watch Forsberg and Sogard or Korpisalo.
Think about where we are. I was just going to make that point. We are here in the middle of January, begging, dreaming of what if Anton Forsberg or Korpisalo played for this team? Man, we'd be so much better. That's what fans are thinking. That is going through fans' minds right now. If they just had Anton Forsberg back, if they just had Korpisalo, who everyone couldn't wait to get rid of and couldn't believe they got rid of in that deal, right? They couldn't believe that. Who would be stupid enough to take that guy?
Lee, I've seen social media posts this week, video essays about why the Senators should be trading for Stuart Skinner right now.
Oh my!
That's the point we're at. Is that Stuart Skinner would be an upgrade on this.
I don't know that he would.
I don't know either. Say what you will, though. He's got a better record. He's got better numbers. Pittsburgh's in a playoff spot.
Oh, he wouldn't be worse.
No.
He wouldn't be worse. For sure. I'm not reading Ethan's last one. I'm not doing it. I'm not going down this road, Tanner.
I'm not either, but I mean, if we get to the offseason and the Sens miss the playoffs because of goaltending, and it's certainly trending in that direction, you got to do something organizationally to adjust that position. I'm sure Levy's not just going to be handed the keys next year. That's for damn sure. Allmark will be here. But
maybe
developmentally, I mean, yeah, who knows with the way the next probably 2 weeks go. It's going to determine that.
No, but maybe, like, you wonder if they would want to even do a total reset, whether they'd think about like buying him out.
Oh man, that's a lot of money. If he plays terrible, then maybe you consider it. But
well, he's been terrible,
right? And you have to hope that he's got whatever it is sorted out, and he comes in hopefully this week and plays at least league average. If you could do the same numbers Reimer played tonight, that would be good enough. But just show some confidence.
It's not for the fans. It's not for the media. It's not for anybody else. It's for the coach and the rest of the players on the team that need a few saves, that need a chance to be able to win games when they think that every shot is going to go in. Don't tell me that every player in that bench when Detroit had that 2-on-1 didn't think that they were going to score.
And we saw Sanderson's frustrations yesterday.
Yeah.
He's just the first guy that said it to the media. How do you think Tim Stützle's feeling behind the scenes? How do you think Brady Tkachuk?
Well, Tim Stützle also said it to the media yesterday. Both right. Sanderson and Stützle said it. And think about that. That's not Claude Giroux. That's not even Brady. The two best players on the team are Jake Sanderson and Tim Stützle.
Yeah, if Staios has any job, it's to keep those two guys happy and here.
Right. And if they're the ones in front of the media voicing their displeasure in the middle of January on a 30th anniversary game, losing to your, second biggest rival with 80% of the rivals fans in your building, and they're frustrated, if I'm Steve Staios and if I'm Travis Green, I kind of understand why they're frustrated. I kind of get it. And I know it's my job to relieve some of that frustration from my best players if I'm the GM. And the coach. I don't know what the coach can do right now. Behind the scenes, Travis Green's got to be just livid, but what's it going to do to get super mad right now? It's just going to show the team that they can be undisciplined too. And they looked undisciplined tonight. That's my biggest fear and my biggest takeaway from this game tonight against Detroit is that they looked undisciplined, frustrated. They actually got away with a couple of things tonight that other nights they wouldn't have got away with, and they would have been have lost players for the game, and it would have got worse.
Pinto and Greg should have been tossed.
Right.
And all that.
Exactly. Yes. Both of them should not have been playing the rest of the game. And Pinto tied the game.
Yeah.
After that. Right? Detroit's probably thinking, I'm not sure about that. Anyway,
maybe we'll see some disciplinary action come down from the league tomorrow. But
yeah,
as we know with Verhaeghe, who cares?
After the two wins during the week and up 5-3 with 4 minutes to go, I had a real sense that, hey, this could be the beginning of a turnaround. And from the 4-minute mark of last night's game through tonight's game, yeah, that's gone.
Yeah. As soon as Montreal scored that first goal, I knew it was it. I knew we were losing that game. You
knew the Sens were losing.
Yes.
Yeah. You're welcome, Ethan. Don't say I don't have your back. Told you I'm allowed to do it. All right, Tanner, Tuesday. Columbus Blue Jackets. Again, to me, it's almost literally a repeat of last week. It's like, can you beat the Columbuses and the Nashvilles of the world to even try to set a foundation before you come home and Carolina and Vegas are here, and then Colorado is here? Can you do anything in the next two games to even just get your footing to get ready for those teams coming in? Maybe it's all Mark getting in the net, but maybe it's all Mark getting in the net. Maybe that's all it can be. Crazy. Just never thought we'd be at this place at this time. For the Sens. All right, Ethan. You've been the steady force. I would say you'll have you would win our tweet of the game or chat of the game. Imagine losing, Ethan, this award tonight when nobody else has been in the chat. Imagine losing it.
All right, I'm gonna get my burner account in here real quick.
Yeah, come on, anybody say anything. Last ditch, you can win. Is there? Well, he says, is there such thing as a starting goaltending bump? Yeah, that's what they need.
Better hope so.
I don't know that I've seen a spot, Tanner, where it really is like, as much as you want to break down other people's mistakes and faults, and yeah, there's some undisciplined play tonight, and some fault last night. Shabbat wasn't great, and what they were doing on some of those tying goals in the last couple of minutes, I'm not sure. There's some fault to go around, but I don't know that I've ever seen a point in the middle of the year where you're like, yeah, there's one problem with this team. One.
I think if you could have pointed to it 2 years ago with Korpisalo and Forsberg, but even then, the team wasn't great defensively. They saw Chikrin here. The defense wasn't balanced. It's one thing this year.
One.
That's it. They get saves. They're a playoff team.
And there's there's no argument to that. There's almost we can talk, and we will talk about a whole bunch of other things, but it does come down to that. There's just one thing. We'd be talking completely differently if this team had a 900 save percentage, which isn't asking the world. It's not asking for something that is unrealistic, and they've been so much worse than 900. It's put them in the spot. And everyone playing, everyone coaching on the team knows it. So I think that's going to do it for us, Tanner. But I'm looking forward to Tuesday. We're going to have hopefully a pre-show. We're going to do some stuff on the site with some football tomorrow. We got a couple of big games Tuesday and Thursday. Can't wait to do it. This has been fun. Thank you. Hope you had a great weekend. And thank you, Ethan. You've really helped out tonight, and I mean that. Once again, Tanner, the final score, 4-3 in overtime. The Red Wings defeat the Ottawa Senators with James Reimer making his debut. You've been listening to This Is Overtime, which will be back after the Columbus game on Tuesday, and a lot more coming up on Ottawa Sports Now this week.